All right, welcome everybody. I know it's late, but I wanted to go live tonight, and I just wanted to ask, just get the pulse of the fan base and see where everybody's at. I know I listened to some of the spaces today. I was listening to, NBA radio, and I just have one simple question for you, and that's it. And it's, can the Knicks still win the Eastern Conference? And that's my question. It's not, anything deep, but it's a question I ask each and every one of you. Because 2-3 weeks ago, I don't think there was a question that the Knicks were the favorite to win the conference. Before that Detroit game, we really thought that we were going to go somewhere, but a lot has happened. A lot has happened over the last month. So it's crazy because it felt so obvious after the NBA Cup that the Knicks were a finals team. But then we go through that crazy stretch, right, where we go 2-9 and we don't know what to expect. And now, right now, as currently constituted, the Knicks are the 4th seed. So, look, I get it. We're 2-0 since, the players only meeting. And I understand a lot of people are, pumped up about beating Philly. I'm not one of those people. Again, to me, you have to beat Philly. If you want to get out of the Eastern Conference, you have to be able to roll over Philadelphia. You have to be able to steamroll them. It shouldn't even be a question. So, yeah, we beat them, but they had a chance to tie it in the last second. Maxey missed. And what else about that game do we remember? Karl-Anthony Towns fouling out, missing the game, practically missing the fourth quarter. 10-6. Mikal went MIA. I know he was good on defense, but what was he? 3-16, something like that. He was terrible. And I know what's going on. I could see it. I know everybody's like, trade Cat, trade Mikal. Fine. You want to trade them? I'm cool with that. But what are you going to get back? Because if you're going to get back a bag of chips for Karl-Anthony Towns, I'm going to tell you, you're better off just holding on to him. Think about that. Think about what we gave up to get Karl-Anthony Towns. Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and a first-round pick. And you guys just want to go out and trade Cat for garbage? No, thank you. I got to see better. I have to see better than just, the trades that I'm mentioning are just, they're atrocious. And then we're getting, you talk about the Mikal Bridges trade. Like, some of you guys want to pack Mikal out of here for nothing. That's the problem when we're trading those two guys right now. You're trading for pennies on the dollar. And whenever you do that, in life, whatever you do that, if you buy a stock and you resell it at the pennies on the dollar, you're going to be mad. You're going to be upset. So right now, if I'm Leon Rose, unless I get blown away, and I mean, blown away. Now, don't get me wrong. If we get a good offer for Karl-Anthony Towns, I'm going to take it. I came out and I said I'd trade Cat for Zion Williamson and Jordan Poole. I said that. Because I think Zion would kind of fit what we're trying to do here. He could get to the paint, score at will, but he's a big risk. He's a guy that doesn't play. And that's what worries me. There's other trades. I know Portland's shown a lot of interest in Mikal Bridges. I don't know why. Maybe they're in a rebuild. Maybe they like him. I don't know. Maybe they think they could make him into the guy he was years ago with Phoenix when he was first team All NBA defense. Look, if you could work something out with them, I'm cool with that too. But it all depends on the return. What are you going to get in return? And that's my biggest issue. Now, if you go out and you trade Karl-Anthony Towns and you land Giannis, good job. Good job. Great job. I'll be ecstatic. I'll be very excited. I think the Knicks' chances will really raise with Giannis, even with the injury. I'm okay with that. I could live with that. Giannis comes back when? He said he's out 6 weeks. Comes back at the end of March. I could hop onto that. I'd be fine with that. Question is, will Milwaukee take it? I don't know. The packages that they're talking about today, sort of like, I think one included OG Anunoby. One included like Mikal. It was a combination of things. It wasn't Cat. If you could get Cat for Giannis, great, but I don't see it. I don't see how the Milwaukee Bucks can build on that. Maybe they value him more than I do. I don't know. But if it was up to me, of course that would be my first pick, Giannis. I just don't think we have the collateral to get him. I don't. Think about what it's going to take to get him in here. Think about it. If you're Milwaukee, what do you want for Giannis? He's got this year and 2 more years after this left on his deal. You telling me you're going to just take Cat and maybe the Washington pick and say, hey, great job, Leon Rose, I'll take it. We got to be real. We got to be realistic. And again, I could be wrong. Maybe they love him. And if they do, great. If they take picks and they'll take Mitch or whatever it is, do it. I'm assuming they're going to ask for Deuce. They'd probably ask for Mitch in a deal. Now you're talking what? Adding $13 million to Cat's 53. So now you got to take $66 million back. So that's Giannis plus the player. Maybe you got to add in Yabu. There's a lot of moving parts there. Again, I love the idea of Giannis. I just don't think it's realistic. I don't see it. Now, maybe it's really bad. Maybe it's a nightmare behind the scenes. And if that's the case, then you got to strike. Then you got to go on and hop on that. You got to take advantage of Milwaukee's weakness. But you see what it is. You see what they want. And if you could somehow put together a package for Giannis, then I think you're in the driver's seat. I really do. Now, moving on from Giannis, let's come back down to earth a little bit, right? Let's not get our hopes up too high. I don't want to lie to the fans and pretend like we're going to get him. I don't know. Maybe it's really bad there. Maybe the situation is so bad behind closed doors that maybe they'll take Cat back for him. Maybe they'll take a Mitch. If they do, Leon Rose, great job. But if they don't say I didn't say so. I would think if I'm Milwaukee, not only am I sending you Giannis, I'm also going to send probably a guy like Kyle Kuzma. Guy that's making $25 million, not doing much. I want to get off that contract if I'm them. Also, too, would they want Mitchell Robinson? They just signed, Miles Turner to a 4-year deal. That's what you got to ask. And it depends what they want. And if the Knicks can come to an agreement on it, great. We do it. We're probably one of the best teams in the East. Now, I'm not going to say right off the rip that the Knicks are the best just because they got Giannis, because you got to put that team together and you got to see the way if it works. Remember, it takes time to develop chemistry. It takes time for cohesion. It takes, all the C words. Coaching, chemistry. That'll take at least probably 20 games, 30 games. Or maybe it's a seamless fit like the OG Anunoby trade. I don't know. Not every trade is going to be like Josh Hart and OG Anunoby. We've got very lucky as Knicks fans. Think about that. Those two trades, those guys fit in here seamlessly. But think back to some of the other trades that didn't work out. Or the free agent signings. Getting Evan Fournier never worked. Getting Derrick Rose the second time didn't work. Signing him to that extension. It worked the first time when we first got him. We made the playoffs. But after that, it didn't really work. And that's what I hope the Knicks can do. I hope the Knicks can make a trade and get a guy like Giannis, and the fit is seamless. But it doesn't always work that way. So I guess we'll go and we'll see. You got to see what else is out there. Will they even trade these guys? That's the other question. Will they trade them? Will they trade Cat? Will they trade Mikal? Again, you're Leon Rose. You gave up 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. Do you think he's going to take back, some combination of Jose Alvarado and, Mise? I can't even pronounce his name. I don't think so, because it makes him look really, really bad. Even the Kuminga deal, where you take back Buddy Hield and the kid off their bench. If they do that deal, how bad does that make Leon Rose look? You gave up not only 5 first-round picks, unprotected picks. That's a death sentence. It's a death sentence. And if you don't get the right guy back for Mikal, you're done. You're in big trouble. So, shout out to you guys. Shout out to everybody that reposted. Max, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate it. Again, this is just late night. I'm just doing this to do it. I know we got the big game tomorrow, the big back-to-back. But I just want to go over these deals real quick. The Kristaps Porzingis trade. The Cat for Porzingis. Now, again, this is me speculating. Porzingis makes $30 million. Cat makes $53 million. So you got to finish, mix in another $23 million. Could you maybe get Ricochet in that deal? I don't know, maybe. If you could get Ricochet and Porzingis and even, what's his name? The center there. Okongwu. If you could land that deal, I think that's a steal. I think that makes the Knicks big, like, you're tremendously better. Now, again, I don't think it will happen. Remember, that guy Ricochet is a first-round pick. That's a big deal. But if you get him, great. And then you got Porzingis. That spaces the floor. I'd even almost consider keeping Mikal with that. Maybe move Mikal to the bench. But right now, this team has constituted with Cat, with Mitch, with Mikal. The best course of action that could happen is that Mike Brown finds a way to get all these guys involved and connected. If they are connected and they are back to playing ball the way they were a month and a half ago, then we're going to look pretty good. But again, that's a big if. We don't know if that could come back. I don't know. Something happened in that locker room. What happened in that locker room? They had a players-only meeting. After that, they came out and won 2 in a row. But what happened? Was it a Cat problem? Was it a Mikal problem? And let me tell you this about Mikal Bridges. He opens up his mouth a lot for a guy that's going to get paid $40 million starting next year. And he's also a guy that got Coach Tibbs fired. And in firing Tibbs, the Knicks got rid of the best coach, whoever coached Karl-Anthony Towns. Karl-Anthony Towns was his best under Tibbs. His 2 best seasons came under Tibbs. And we went out and fired him. Why? Because Mikal Bridges and maybe Deuce McBride and these other guys complain they played too many minutes. How does that look right now? Not that good. Not that good. We're sitting the 4th seed right now in the Eastern Conference. Toronto's ahead of us. Toronto. So you got to go out tomorrow and you got to take it to the Kings, just like you did to the Nets. 4 quarters of basketball, put it together, blow them out by 30 points. And by the fourth quarter, I want to see every single second-round pick player playing in the whole quarter. No exceptions. That's it. Blow out the Kings tomorrow night, rest your starters in the fourth quarter, and then we'll talk. Because then you got to take on Toronto. And Toronto's not as bad as they were years ago. Right now, they're better than us. They're the 3 seed. Even though we beat them twice. Right now, they're playing well. I think they beat Oklahoma City. Even Oklahoma City's come down a little bit. So the best thing that can happen to the Knicks, the best possible outcome right now, from now until the trade deadline, is this. These guys play up to the way they were playing. They come back. And they play connected. They play defense as a unit. Not as a bunch of one guys playing one-on-one. No. As a unit. And Mike Brown needs to find the right lineup. Karl-Anthony Towns can't play defense? Well, find a way to back him up. Because we need this guy on the floor. Because if you're not going to trade him, then you got to get the best out of this guy. Same for Mikal Bridges. Find a way to get Mikal Bridges back to hitting that corner 3 like he was in the beginning of the season. Because he was an assassin, and so was OG Anunoby in the beginning of that season. Up until the Cup. Up until New Year's Eve. Now what happened after that? I don't know. Maybe OG went cold. He's not the best shooter in the world, so that makes sense. Maybe Mikal just, went down. That happens during an 82-game season. It's a long season. And shout out to Mikal. I'll give him this. The guy plays every single game. Without a doubt. He's a good player. He is. And I'll give him that. But he's got to be back to doing what he does best. Defense and hitting corner 3s. How about getting back to that mid-range game that he had? Now, some people say, I appreciate you. Appreciate you, Jennifer, for reposting. Appreciate everybody that's in here. But how about Mikal gets back to being that guy that he was? Playing good defense, point of attack. Hitting that 3 in the corner. Driving with the midi. What happened to that guy? I want to see that guy. Karl-Anthony Towns. What happened to you? The best 3-point shooting big of all time, I'm told. You're shooting 35% this year from the 3, bro. What happened? You shoot 35% from 3. You're not the best big man, whatever the name is. Oh, the best shooting big of all time. I don't even know if I buy that. Shooting 35%. Julian, shout out to you. Appreciate you reposting. Get these guys back to doing what you do best. Shooting 3s. Karl-Anthony Towns, get to the paint. Mike Brown, that's your job. Get him to the paint. Get him to the line. When he gets to the line, we win. It's that simple. Look up the games where he shot more than 10 free throws. Look up our record. That should be the job moving forward. You want to blow this team up? Great. If you're getting Giannis, I'm on board. But if you're not, and you're getting back a bunch of scrubs, no thank you. I'll take my chances. Now, maybe I'm the one that's taking the risk here. Maybe I'm the one that's making a mistake. Maybe I'm the fool. But I'll tell you this. If we get back to playing Knicks basketball, and that's how we were during the Cup, we have a chance to get out of the East. Give me 1 second. Got to lower the heat. It's like 40 degrees outside. I know you guys in New York are it's like 10 degrees, so I shouldn't complain. But here's the bottom line. Get back. The Knicks need to just get back on track. Get back to doing what they do. Because if you're going to get back pennies on the dollar for these guys, Karl-Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, it's not worth trading them. Get their value up to the pinnacle. And then in the offseason, if it doesn't work out, flip them. I don't care. That should be the goal. How are we going to beat Detroit? How are we going to get out of the Eastern Conference? Those should be the questions that Leon Rose, Mike Brown, and the whole Knicks staff are asking each other. How do we get out of the Eastern Conference? Who do we got to watch out for? Obviously, Detroit. But we beat them last year. But they are dangerous. And they're one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. And you guys know it. They kicked our ass when we went to Detroit. They handed it to us. What do you got to do to be better? It starts with Cat. It starts with Brunson. Brunson's got to be better too. The whole team. If you're going to beat Detroit, I think you need to get another piece. And that's where you got to go out and you get somebody on the bench. Whether that's Jose Alvarado, whether that's Misei, whether that's, one of those guys on Dallas. Great. Go out and do it. But let me tell you something. This Eastern Conference is not going to be easy. It's not going to be a cakewalk like we thought. Now, if we were playing ball the way we were, I would say, man, the Knicks, like if we were playing ball the way we were during the Cup, and again, it was only like a 4-game stretch. If we're playing ball like that, I would have said this, we come out of the East, no problem. It's a piece of cake. But we're not playing ball like that. And all the contenders handed it to us. Let's be honest. Yes, we beat San Antonio. Yes, we beat Cleveland. We beat Boston once. But how are we going to do against Toronto? In 2 nights. I'm looking ahead. I shouldn't even be looking ahead. The Knicks don't even deserve that from me. I'm saying tomorrow night's an automatic win, which it might not be. Because the last time we were favored, I think, by 13.5 points, and we got our asses kicked out in Sacramento by a Kings team that's one of the worst teams in basketball. They're the bottom of the barrel. You better beat the Kings. I better not see any. That shouldn't even be a close game. Then you go up to Toronto. Now what happens up there? That's where it could be dangerous. It's on a back-to-back. And that's why it's so important. Tomorrow night, the Knicks come out and they kick Sacramento in the teeth. You go out and you get a big lead, you bury them, and you don't ever let them think they're coming back. This way, going into the fourth quarter, you could rest everybody. And then the real challenge is the Toronto game. You have to win that game. Again, like I said, with 8 games left to go in the trade deadline, I said you either got to go 7-1 or 6-2. Anything less, then they're just not it. The Knicks are just not going to get out. Now, maybe they'll get lucky. I don't know. But right now, I don't think the Knicks can win the East. I don't. I think Detroit's better. I think Philly will hand it to us. I think that series would go 7 games, and game 7's a flip of a coin. You know what can happen? Flip the coin. Anything can happen in a game 7. So yes, Philly can beat us. They can beat us. They play downhill. They play good defense. They force turnovers and get points over turnovers, points in transition. That's something we did when we were winning the NBA Cup. But we stopped. Defense. Starts with defense. And after that, who else is left in the East? Boston? They're talking about Boston maybe upgrading. So do you got to play defense there? Because think about it. If Boston upgrades and Detroit upgrades, the Knicks have to upgrade. Detroit still has all their picks. They could go out and probably get pretty much almost anybody they want. They got the collateral. They got the contracts with Tobias Harris. Now, will they go for it? I don't know. Maybe they're sitting tight. Maybe they think they have enough to win without even using their draft picks. But teams that believe they can win don't usually need to have players-only meetings. And that's why Knicks fans are so crazy right now. Because we're 2-0 after the players' meeting, but before that, we all watched it. And we looked like a lottery team then. That wasn't panic. That was fear of slipping down. That's why they had that players-only meeting. And it's scary. Then you go out, you beat Brooklyn, great. 54-point win, historic, yada, 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 great. But that didn't mean anything to me. You should beat Brooklyn. You should beat them by 54. They're garbage. But the Philly game is where it slows down. Because you take out that third quarter. Without that third quarter, we lose that game. Cat fouls out. Thank God we played great defensively that quarter. Because if we didn't, that game would have been Philadelphia's. And think about the mood right now if we lost that game. Think about the panic that would be happening. We actually played physical in that game, which we haven't done in probably 12 games. We had energy. But you got to keep that up. Keep it up, especially tomorrow against Sacramento. They shouldn't even... it should be a wire-to-wire win. Not even close. Cat fouling out? Come on, man. Against Sacramento, Cat, you should be eating them and cooking them. Jalen Brunson shouldn't even be playing in the fourth quarter. But if the Knicks want to win the East, they have to answer one uncomfortable question. One. Who are they defensively? Are they the team against Philadelphia in the third quarter? Or are they the team that went 2-11 and got destroyed pretty much game in and game out? That gave up how many points to Sacramento that game? That's what the Knicks have to decide. Who are they? Are they that defensive heavyweight that came out in the third quarter with Mitch and all those other guys? Or are they something else? And that's what they have to ask. If they could do this defensively, then there's hope. But if they can't, then they have major problems. Too many lineups sacrificing defense. Cat, Brunson. Cat's offensive value versus his defensive trade-off. Like, yeah, when he scores 25 and is efficient, it's great. But when he doesn't, they're terrible. They have to have an identity, a consistent defensive identity. And you cannot win the East without a consistent defensive identity. And offensive too. Hit your shots. Start hitting shots in the second halves of games. Enough. Come out like a bat out of hell. Enough with these quarters where you're shooting 30%, 35%. No. This team was built offensively. Play. Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns should be scoring 25 points a game. Mikal Bridges and OG should be putting up their averages. That shouldn't even be a question. The fact that we got to rely on Deuce McBride to be a second option is sad. But this is where we are. So how do the Knicks stack up against Boston? Boston's proven they're one of the best coached teams in the league. Against Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta doesn't have the best record, but they have the size. They have the matchups. They will be a matchup problem for us if we take them in the playoffs. I know you guys don't think so. I get it. But look at how they're built. They're all a bunch of tall wings. They will give us problems if we meet them in the playoffs. They will. Boston, that series will go 7 games. Now, we're built to beat Boston when we're playing at our best. And maybe we'll get that in April. I don't know. Philly, they're super talented, but they're unstable. But what happens if VJ Edgecombe and Maxey keep taking those steps? That series could go 7 games. Cleveland. Everybody writes off Cleveland because we always beat them in the playoffs, and I'm with you. I'm not afraid of Cleveland at all. But you never know in a 7-game series, especially right now when we don't have an identity. Then you have Orlando. Orlando kicked our ass in MSG and down here in Orlando. But we beat them in that game going to the Cup. So which Knicks team will show up? Will it be the team that played the Cup? Or the team that showed up in MSG that got killed, destroyed? So again, the East is not weak. I know you guys all say that. But there's matchup problems every single round. There will be no easy series with the way the Knicks are playing right now. Now, if we start getting back to where we were, then it's a different story. If we go out and we finish this season, we end up winning 55 games, then I'll shut up. And I won't even worry. Because we should be able to take care of almost everybody. The hardest series will be Detroit. And that'll be it. But we will see. The bottom line is, can the Knicks win the East? Right now, obviously, it's only been 2 games, so I don't know. Right now, I'd lean towards no. I'd say Detroit's taking you out. I think we could get past Cleveland. I think we could get past Orlando. I think we could get past Atlanta. But they all create matchup problems. They won't be easy series. Philadelphia will not be an easy series. So we will see. Just wanted to do a quick live. I appreciate everybody that came out. 200 plus of you at 11:30 at night. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow night post game. I'm gonna have a lot of special guests coming up. So be ready to tune into my post game, 4th quarter. You guys know. Come in. I'll have the game. After that, we'll get to it. We'll talk about either the win or the loss tomorrow night. We'll see. But I'm gonna have a couple of special guests coming up this week on either these post games or just one of my lives. I might go live like I did tonight. And please, if you like this content, if you like this Knicks stuff and you like my Mets content, go to Garden City Media. That's CITI Media on YouTube. And hit that subscribe button. With that said, let's go Knicks. And I'll hop on a space. Good night, everybody.